Hello again. I'm going to crank out a few videos while I got Wes taking a nap. This is going to be a video response to Dark Age of, where he asked, what are the 5 things that you love about role-playing games? And when I was doing this, I was trying to think, what were the 5 top things? And to be honest, these might not be the top 5, but these are the top 5 that I can think of right now. So I'm just going to go through them and talk a little bit about each one. I think the number one reason I like RPGs are settings. I like different settings, things that are different about them that make them unique. If they're nothing but Lord of the Rings clone, I'm not so much interested. But I like a lot of the stranger settings, settings that sort of break the mold. Settings like Empire of the Petal Throne, Tekkamul, Talos Lanta. Even though the Midnight setting might be considered a Tolkien clone, I think there's enough of a difference to make it different. Where instead of Sauron losing, Isildur wins. Basically the Sauron clone. But I like settings that I just look at them and I just think they're amazing. They're interesting creations of people, and I like to make my own settings. But that goes on to number 2. I think the second thing I like most about RPGs is the ability to world build, to make my own settings, to try to break the mold myself. Thinking about how if this culture is contrasted with this culture and they go to war, what would that be like? And if one person from this culture travels to another culture, how would they respond to him? Taboos, races, religions, all those different aspects of the setting itself, and how it all fits together. I think it's like a giant puzzle that you can continually add pieces to. So I think that's really wild, and it gives me a chance to be creative and to use my imagination. And a lot of times world building can be done, and it has to be done, when you're outside of the game, you have a lot of free time, you want to burn some time up. Third thing is escapism, and like what I would like to call a mental vacation, where you just get away from your daily problems and go to some fairy tale make-believe land where you're an elf or a dwarf or a down-and-out vampire in the streets of Louisiana somewhere, some small town or city. So it's nice to just get out of yourself for a while, even if that's only for like 3 to 4 hours at a time. So I think just this escapism, and I don't know, I've had a lot of problems in my life, and it was nice to have a little bit of a break for 3 to 4 hours at a time. Fourth thing is decisions and their consequences, and these would be the decisions and consequences of players and their characters, or NPCs even, and how that affects things, how it affects the setting, how one decision can just ripple throughout the entire setting. And I think that's really wild when that happens. And a lot of times those consequences are unforeseen, especially by players. But that's fun too. That generates material for GMs if they're willing to incorporate that into the way they're running their game. And I think that's the best way to do that. Let those consequences affect how you're going to do things. Okay, I guess number 5. I like surprising GMs and my fellow players. I really enjoy coming up with solutions that were unexpected and unplanned for. This could be kind of a problem for, I think, newer GMs when they have very proactive players. I think I'm a very proactive player. I'll plot things and do things that they, in their wildest dreams never would have thought of. And I just think that's the freedom of RPGs, and any good GM should be able to just take what the players have and run with it, what they do. And I guess it goes for when I'm a player mostly, but I guess I could even take that a little bit further. As a GM, I love it when players sort of smack me upside the head with a 4x4. Like, wow, I didn't see that coming at all. That's awesome. You should totally do that. Totally do that more. That's great. If I have 4 pages of notes or whatever that I took, I'll just throw them away. And I'm happy about it. I love when players surprise me. So that's my quick 5 things I like RPGs like about RPGs. So, all right, guys, I got to do some chores, and then I have to go to work. So, have a good one.